Your phone isn't a tool, it's a slot machine, and I was its addict. You know that moment you pick up your phone to check just one message, and suddenly a bus ride, a train journey, or an entire evening has disappeared? I've had nights where I grabbed my phone for 5 minutes before bed, and the next thing I know, it's past midnight. No movie, no book, not even real rest, just endless scrolling, and I couldn't even tell you what I saw. That's the trap. One quick glance turns into hours lost. Here's the part most people don't realize. Your phone isn't just a tool. It's engineered like a slot machine. Every swipe, every refresh is designed to deliver a tiny, unpredictable dopamine hit. That's the exact same brain circuit that gets triggered by addictive substances. And I've lived it. Open Instagram just for a second, and suddenly I've gone from one funny reel to random conspiracy rabbit holes, and 30 minutes have vanished before I even notice. That's when it hit me. This wasn't a willpower issue. My brain was being hijacked. And it's not a personal weakness. It's basic human psychology, hardwired into all of us. Tech companies spend billions of dollars learning how to exploit it, so we keep coming back for more. But here's what changed everything. I started spending time with just my own thoughts. No phone, no podcast, no background noise. Just me. At first, it was painfully uncomfortable, like my brain was looking for an escape hatch. But then something surprising happened. The fog started to clear. Ideas I didn't even know were buried deep began surfacing. My sleep improved, my focus felt stronger, and slowly, my creativity came back. That's what this video is really about. Why distractions like your phone have such a tight grip on your mind. This simple practice that helped me break free, and how you can start reclaiming your attention, your time, and even your best ideas. Stick around, because once you experience it, you'll never look at distractions the same way again. Section 1. What it feels like to be pulled. You know that little jolt you feel when your phone buzzes? That instant anxiety, like you have to check it, even if you're in the middle of reading, watching something, or talking to someone. Most of the time, it's not even urgent. But that's the trick. Your attention is being pulled, drained drop by drop, every time. I noticed it most when I was with my wife and kids. We'd be hanging out, laughing, just enjoying each other, and still, I'd feel that itch to grab my phone and scroll Instagram or refresh Reddit or click into another random YouTube video, even though nothing important was waiting for me. That restless, compulsive pull was my wake-up call. Because if I couldn't be fully present with the people I love the most, then what was I really doing? And here's the cost. Creativity. Your best ideas need silence and space to breathe. They need you to sit with them without interruption, long enough to connect the dots. But when your brain is being pinged every 2 seconds, that space disappears. Creativity doesn't just slow down, it hides. It gets buried under the noise. That's what being pulled feels like. Always busy, always distracted, but never really present, and never at your best. Section 2. Starting to sit with yourself. Reflection. So, what actually helped me start breaking free from distractions? Honestly, it was something really simple, but not easy. I started sitting with my own thoughts. No phone, no podcast, no music in the background. Just me, a notebook, and the question, what's actually on my mind? What's bothering me? What idea is floating around that I haven't given space to? The first few times, it was uncomfortable. My brain was restless. I kept reaching for my phone like a reflex, even though I didn't need it. That's when I realized how deep the habit really was. But I treated it like a workout. 5 minutes of stillness turned into 10. 10 turned into 15. And eventually, the urge started to fade. That's when something amazing happened. My mind finally got quiet enough for a single thread of thought to come through. Ideas I didn't even know were buried started surfacing. Problems I'd been avoiding suddenly looked clearer. And the mental noise that filled my head, it began to soften. That alone felt like rediscovering a lost superpower. The ability to simply think without distraction. Section 3. Talking to yourself and digging in. Self-reflection. Once I got comfortable sitting with my thoughts, I decided to take it one step deeper. I started talking to myself out loud, literally asking, why am I distracted right now? Am I bored? Am I avoiding something stressful? Or am I just tired? That simple act of naming what I was feeling made a huge difference. Here's one moment that hit me hard. I was on YouTube clicking through random videos. At some point, I paused and asked myself, am I really interested in this? Or am I just avoiding the project sitting on my desk? The answer was obvious. I wasn't there for the content. I was there to escape the discomfort of starting something that felt difficult. And once I said that out loud, it was like pulling the curtains back. I couldn't lie to myself anymore. I had to choose. Keep numbing out or face the work that I was avoiding. And that's the real lesson. It's not about deleting apps or going off the grid. It's about noticing what's really driving the urge. Because once you name the root, you're no longer reacting. You're deciding. And that's when you start taking back control. Before we go any further, quick pause. If this is hitting home, do me a favor and tap that like button. It's such a small action, but it tells me loud and clear that you want more videos like this. Seriously, it helps me know what's worth doubling down on. Alright, let's get back to it. Section 4. Deep work and its superpowers. When I started catching those urges early, something shifted. Instead of letting myself get pulled into distraction, I redirected my energy into what Cal Newport calls deep work. If you haven't heard that term before, it's basically the opposite of scrolling, multitasking, or bouncing between notifications. Deep work is when you give your mind permission to focus on one demanding thing uninterrupted, long enough to actually make progress. And that's when the magic happens. At first, it felt impossible. My brain was so used to quick hits of dopamine that sitting with just one task felt like running uphill. But the more I practiced, the more I noticed the benefits stacking up. My sleep improved. My late night insomnia started fading. I wasn't as restless when I went to bed because my mind wasn't buzzing from 1,000 little interruptions. I woke up clearer. My head felt lighter. Even the day itself felt physically easier, not just mentally. I'll give you an example. I used to roll over in bed and check my phone before I'd even opened my eyes. My brain would be racing before I'd even stood up. But now, when I start the day in quiet, no phone, no noise, my creative brain kicks in. Ideas come more naturally. Work flows instead of feeling forced. That's the hidden superpower of deep work. Clarity, creativity, and presence. They only flourish when your attention isn't being hijacked every 30 seconds. And once you taste that kind of focus, endless scrolling feels cheap by comparison. Section 5. Other modern distractions beyond the phone. It's not just the phone that steals our attention. Distractions are everywhere, sneaky in ways we barely notice. Take push notifications, your apps, your laptop, even your smartwatch. Every ping feels urgent, but most of it isn't. One of the best fixes I found, do not disturb, or even better, batch notifications so they come at set times, not whenever your phone decides. Then there's background noise. I used to think I worked better with TV on, a podcast in the background, maybe even a playlist running. But my brain was juggling too much. I remember writing once with music, plus ambient rain sounds, plus a news tab open, and wondering why I felt drained. Now I choose silence or one intentional soundtrack. Focus feels so much more sharper and richer. Another big one, information overload. Constantly refreshing news feeds, blogs, YouTube summaries. It's endless. What helped me was micro-dosing information. One trusted source a day, not an avalanche. And of course, multitasking. Telling yourself, I can write while checking email. You can't. Your brain is just switching gears badly. Single tasking in focused blocks beats half doing 5 things every time. The point is, distraction isn't just on your phone. It's the environment you allow. And once you clean that up, focus feels so much easier. Section 6. Creativity and clarity. Why they thrive with focus. Here's the irony most people miss. Creativity doesn't come from constant simulation. It comes from stillness. Creative work needs space, the kind your phone quietly robs you from. But when you allow yourself to sit in that space, your mind begins to filter out the noise, see what matters, and spark ideas that actually feel alive. You've probably felt it before. Those moments when you're fully present, maybe writing, sketching, or even cleaning, and suddenly an idea hits so clearly it almost jolts you. That clarity only shows up when your brain isn't fractured by notifications and half-finished thoughts. For me, it happened during a morning routine. I'd sit with my notebook, no distractions, just focus. One day, an idea came through so sharp I grabbed my phone, ironically, to capture it. That idea later became a video many of you connected with. That's the payoff. Clarity and creativity thrive when your mind is free. Section 7. Trusting your mind and staying in control. At the root of all of this is trust. Trusting your own mind. Trusting that if you put the phone down and step away from the buzz, you won't collapse into boredom or awkward silence. What actually happens is the opposite. You start discovering things worth paying attention to. You realize there's always something deeper to connect with. Your ideas, your goals, even just the moment you are in. And here's the thing, you don't need to be some superhuman monk to do this. All it takes is noticing. When was the last time you truly focused on one thing without interruption? When did your device pull you away from that? So here's a simple experiment. Schedule one 20-minute block today. Phone silent, no feed, no music, just your mind. Sit, think, write, doodle, whatever shows up. At first, it'll feel restless. That's normal. But with gentle, repeated practice, something shifts. The grip of distraction weakens. Your attention feels stronger. And you start to trust yourself again. Trust that you can focus on what matters without being yanked by every ping and vibration. That's where control returns. Not from fighting distractions, but from believing your mind is capable of more. Section 8. Quick practical steps. Actionable summary. So let's get really practical for a minute. If you want to start taking back your focus, here are a few small steps that actually make a big difference. First, start small. Don't aim for a full day detox. Just block out 10 minutes with no phone, no screens. Sit with yourself. It might feel awkward at first, but that's the point. You are retraining your attention. Second, name the urge. The next time you feel pulled to scroll, pause and ask yourself, why am I doing this right now? Am I bored? Avoiding something? Just restless? Naming it puts you back in control instead of running on autopilot. Third, switch one mindless habit into deep work. Replace 20 minutes of scrolling with 20 minutes of focused writing, reading, or brainstorming. That swap alone can transform how you feel at the end of the day. Fourth, limit information overload. Instead of bouncing between endless feeds, choose one reliable news source or one social platform each day. You don't need the entire internet shouting at you. Fifth, embrace silence. Try working without background noise or stick to a single calming soundtrack. You'll be surprised how much sharper your focus feels. And finally, reflect at night. Before bed, ask yourself, what thoughts surfaced today when I wasn't scrolling? Those moments of quiet reflection often carry insights you'd otherwise miss. These are simple, repeatable habits. None of them are extreme, but practiced consistently, they rebuild your attention, strengthen your focus, and give your mind the breathing room that it needs. And that's where your best work and your best ideas will come from. Final thoughts. So, if this video resonated with you and you want more ideas on how to take back your attention, focus deeper, and live more intentionally, go ahead and hit subscribe. This isn't about quick hacks or surface level advice. What I share here comes from real experiences, things that I've actually struggled with, tested, and worked through while balancing big goals and everyday life. I want this channel to be a place where you feel understood, where you get practical strategies you can actually use, not just theories. And before we wrap up, I just want to say thank you. Thanks for letting me share what's worked for me, moving from endless scrolling to stillness, from distraction to clarity. If you try any of this, let me know how it goes. You're not alone in this. And if you want to see how I actually built a deep focus routine in the middle of real life, after the kids were asleep, when the house was quiet, that's the video I would recommend you watch next. I'll show you how to turn those distraction-free moments into some of your most productive hours. Take care, be present, and I'll see you in the next one.